Welcome to the 2014 inaugural commencement ceremony at WGU, Tennessee. We're about to start the ceremony, so if you would, please silence your cell phones or any electronic devices and clear the aisles to provide an uninterrupted flow for the processional. Please note the commencement ceremony is being recorded. Please stand as the processional enters and remain standing for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You can be seated. Welcome, graduates, friends, and guests. Please be seated and join me in offering special thanks to the incredibly talented Donna Stymere for singing the Star-Spangled Banner for us. Donnis is a student mentor with WGU Tennessee, and we are thrilled that she was able to join us this morning. Let's also thank the Allen Olmsted String Trio for the ceremony music today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the inaugural commencement ceremony for WGU Tennessee. This is an historic event, and we are delighted that you can join us. WGU Tennessee was established in July of 2013 by the Tennessee General Assembly and Governor Bill Haslam as part of his Drive to 55 initiative. The goal of Governor Haslam's Drive to 55 is simple: to boost the percentage of Tennessee adults holding a post-secondary credential from the current 32% to 55% by the year 2025. This is an audacious goal designed to prepare our state's workforce for the even more competitive job market of the future. A number of recent studies have shown that earning a college diploma is more important now than it has ever been before. An analysis by the Economic Policy Institute revealed that the pay gap between college graduates and everyone else reached a record high in 2013. Did you know that in Tennessee alone, there are an estimated 940,000 adults who have gained some college credit but do not have a degree? To put that number in perspective, that is roughly 15% of our state's population. WGU Tennessee was created in part to fill that gap. We exist to serve those who are ready to return to school, to earn a degree, and thereby to transform their lives. As evidenced by the many smiling faces and the proud families I see here today, we are fulfilling that mission and helping Tennessee to get to 55%, one graduate at a time. I would like to share with you some fun and interesting facts about our graduating class that is sitting here with you today. We have approximately 148 graduates for this first inaugural year of our existence that come from all over the state of Tennessee, and they will be recognized during this ceremony. We have 88 undergraduate degrees earned and 60 graduate degrees. The average age of our graduates in this class is 39. The youngest graduate is 22. The oldest is 63. 69% of these graduates are female, while 31% are male, and 37% of this group represent the first generation in their family to complete college. For this group of graduates, their average time to graduation for bachelor degree recipients was 2 years and 6 months. For graduate recipients, it was 1 year and 7 months. So considering how long the typical time to graduation is, I think this is a really impressive group. So let's give them a hand. We have a number of guests that are joining us today for this ceremony that are on the platform I would like to introduce to you at this time. Joining us from Western Governors University, our parent university, is Mitsu Phillips, who you saw earlier this morning. She is the Associate Provost and will be assisting with the hooding ceremony later in the program. From WGU Missouri, also launched last year, we have Chancellor Angie Bessendorfer. We would also like to welcome recognized members of the National Board of Trustees who have flown in from all over the country just so they can be here to celebrate with you today. We have behind me Frank Alvarez, Robert Evanson, Dr. Samuel Smith, and Dr. Emily DeRocco. Additionally, we have several members of our own WGU Advisory Committee who are seated behind me. I'd like to recognize now Dr. Jerry Askew, John Steele, and Shannon Brown. Let's give them a round of applause. And as I look out at the graduates this morning, I know the graduates know that you would not be here today to celebrate your accomplishment were it not for your faculty mentors, your family, your friends, and your loved ones, all of whom helped encourage you along the way to this wonderful day of celebration. Without their support, we know you wouldn't be sitting in front of me today. So grads, what I'd like you to do right now is stand where you are, face your family, your mentors who are sitting here, or other friends and relatives you have with you today, and give them a big round of applause, thanking them for all they've done for you. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to pause because Governor Bill Haslam, who was not able to be with us in person, has left us a message for the graduates today, and we'd like to take a moment to share that with you.
Hello, I'm Governor Bill Haslam, and welcome to the very first ever WGU Tennessee Commencement. You know, it's been 11 months since Dr. Mendenhall, Dr. Estep, and I announced the launch of WGU Tennessee. The university, through each of you, is an integral part of our Drive to 55 effort to increase the number of Tennesseans with certificates or college degrees by 2025. This is a significant achievement for each of you. We know it's a result of a lot of hard work on your part. You've had to juggle work, personal responsibilities, and you've kept the hours of a night owl to complete your studies. I'm excited about what the future holds for each of you. Congratulations on a job very well done.
Thank you, Governor Haslam. And now I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing today's commencement speaker, Shannon Brown. Shannon is Senior Vice President and Chief HR and Diversity Officer for FedEx Express, the world's largest express transportation company. Shannon embodies the company's shared commitment to make every FedEx experience outstanding. And through his leadership, he has established a workforce dedicated to delivering the best customer service. During his tenure, FedEx has consistently been ranked on Fortune magazine's list of the world's most admired companies and Black Enterprise magazine's 40 best companies for diversity. The company has also been among the top 10 of Great Places to Work Institute's list of the world's 25 best multinational workplaces. Shannon began his career at FedEx more than 30 years ago as a package handler at the Memphis World Hub. He has attained many honors since that time, including the FedEx 5-Star Award and the CEO 5-Star Award. In 2013, Shannon was appointed by Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam to the WGU Tennessee Advisory Board, where he's been a powerful force this year in helping us grow. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, Shannon earned his bachelor's degree from National Louis University in Chicago and his master's degree from the University of Denver. We are honored to have him here with us today. Please help me welcome Shannon Brown.
Well, good morning. It is truly an honor for me to be here, and Dr. Estep, thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'd like to also thank the National Board of Trustees for joining us this morning, and also my fellow Tennessee Advisory Board members for joining us. I'd like to thank the faculty for the wonderful work that you've done with these great graduates today, and the student mentors and all of the great stories that I heard from the graduates of what you all have done to help them to reach this point. It's been truly amazing. Graduates and the hard work that you've done, thank you for letting WGU be a part of your life. And I cannot say much for the family and guests and for the support that you've given these wonderful graduates so they can finish something in their life. So thank you very much. And I'm honored to be here to celebrate this milestone of achievement in your life today. in our lives as WGU graduates, I want to thank you for the opportunity to have me here today. I understand the average age of graduates here today is 39, and I know that you all have jobs that demanded a lot of your time and energy. And you had to do a lot of things to get you to this point today. You had to shuttle kids to school and soccer games and baseball games. You had to take care of relatives and aging parents. You had to have duties at church that you had to take care of. You had to do simple things like laundry and prepare meals for your families. And at the same time, you felt that it was important to advance your education. So I'd like to begin today with just an old African proverb. Smooth seas don't make skilled sailors. And I want to talk to you about my career, and which is similar to what you all have gone through. As Dr. Estep said, I started as a package handler at FedEx almost 37 years ago. And I wanted to be just one of the managers in the company, and I talked to one of the managers and said, what would it take for me to be a leader in this great organization? And he told me, he said, well, I just don't think you have the skills and ability to do that. And I walked away with my feelings hurt. But I soon noticed that I requested the feedback. He gave me what I asked for. I didn't like it. And I talked to another manager. He said, well, I think, son, if you just move around the organization and prepare yourself, you may have an opportunity to grow in this organization. So I moved to Sacramento, California, just to get a full-time job with this organization. And within 11 months, I was a manager at FedEx. And then I became in high demand. And they moved me back to Memphis, and then Dallas. Then I got promoted again to a senior manager in Monroe, Louisiana. I had responsibilities for El Dorado, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas, and Greenville, Mississippi. And then they moved me to a big city. And they said, well, maybe you can, after doing these small towns, you can handle a big city like Atlanta, Georgia. And I moved there. And then I got to Atlanta. I hadn't finished my degree. As you notice, I've been moving around a lot. And I told them I'm not going anywhere else until I finish my degree, because I didn't want anybody to tell me I couldn't go any further in this organization because I didn't have a degree. And that's when I joined National Louis University. And it was across the street from my district office. And I went over and I said, I just need to graduate from college. What do you have? Well, applied behavior science. What is that? I didn't know what that was. They said, well, in 18 months, you will be a degreed person. I take it. But I just made up my mind I wasn't leaving. And so I finished that program, and I moved back to Memphis in our training department. And I started our diversity program in 1992. And I had an officer that I had just finished a training program with, and he said, look, I want you to join my team as a managing director in our hub operations. And I joined him in that operation, and 13 months later, they said, look, we need you to go back to Oakland, California to work with our organization there. And I didn't want to go back to California, and I said, no, I'm fine here in Memphis. I'm enjoying myself. I just built a house, and we just got married, and so forth. I said, I just want to stay here and somewhat be just a bit stable. One thing led to another. As you know, I was in Oakland. And so I'm back in Oakland, California, and then 13 months later, I was back in Memphis as a vice president. And then from there, throughout the organizations, and they called me and said, look, we want you to be a vice president of human resources. And I talked to them, and I said, well, look, I have no clue about human resources. I spend most of my time in operations, and I'm real comfortable with working with our employees and solving problems daily, and those are some of the things that I can control. Well, my boss came, and he said, well, how did you learn how to do that? I said, well, I just figured it out. He said, well, you go over there and figure out HR. And so as you know, 10 years ago, I've been human resources, and believe it or not, another year ago, someone called me from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and said, we want you to come up to be the chief HR officer for FedEx Ground. I'd never lived in a cold weather state. If you notice, my career was always in the South or on the West Coast. And I told him, look, I just got into this HR business, and I don't want to do any more of this, and I'm waiting to go back in operations. He said, well, just come up and talk to us. And my wife told me, said, we're going to Pittsburgh, believe it or not. And I said, well, I'm just going up and talk to the guy and just tell him that he needs to find somebody else. Well, as you know, I came back home. We're going to Pittsburgh. When I ended up in Pittsburgh, which was just a great organization, didn't really know a lot of the technical parts of HR, but I figured it out. And I looked at a lot of things, and I had to continue my training. And the first thing I told my team is, we're not going to spend 6 months for you to figure out I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm not going to spend 6 months trying to fool you that I don't know what I'm doing. So let's get this settled now. With you and your technical expertise and what I can understand about strategy, we can figure this out. And we became a great organization in human resources. And then from there, I moved back to Memphis in 2008, and that's where I've been for the last 6 years. And I think back to Atlanta when I went to National Louis and had applied behavioral science degree. Well, it worked very well for HR. It was about people and understanding how people behave in the workplace. It was about how you treat people. It was about how to build an organization around what matters, and those are the employees. And if I hadn't done that, not having a clue that I was going to be the chief HR guy, I just wouldn't have known that. And so to you and what you all have done is education is important, and this is the first step in it. And don't stop learning. Go on to your master's for those that you have not gotten your master's. And some of you all, I talked to you last night and said, well, I'm going on to get a PhD, which is just outstanding. That the world is built around people, it's built around hard work, it's built around a passion to do something great in this organization, in this company, in the world. As the chief HR for a global HR company, I spend a lot of time traveling all over the world. And sometimes I just don't believe some of the places that I've visited. When I'm in Africa and China and India, I said, how can this guy from a housing project in Memphis end up in places like this? But it's because the passion and the belief. And that's what you all have done today. You all have believed in what you can do, and the student mentors and the student faculty leaders have showed you that you can be successful, and you all have proven that. I saw so many smiling faces. And the last thing I want to leave with you today is, after you got your degree, now you are armed. Now you are skilled sailors. And here are some of the things that you need to do to help make your neighborhoods, your cities, your states, this country, and the world a better place for all of us. They all love to hear the stories that you've done to make you successful and giving back to your communities to make this a greater place, because now you're aimed or armed with the knowledge that you can take care of kids that is falling through the cracks. Take care of someone else and talk about WGU and give them or share your experiences with them so they can wake up and rise up and we'll all be a better place. And education is the way to do it. So thank you very much for allowing me to be here today. I really, really feel special to be the first commencement speaker for the WGU of Tennessee. And congratulations on whatever field of study that you may do, and you continue to succeed in this world and help make this a better place for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for those inspiring remarks. Now we have the privilege of hearing from 4 of our graduates. They are seated here to my left. They are Miranda Good, who earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in Special Education, Jeff Gebhardt, who has earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology Management, Tabitha Calvin, who has earned her Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with software emphasis, and Shannon Tucker, who has earned her Master of Business Administration degree in Healthcare Management. We will start with Miranda Good, to be followed immediately by the other 3 speakers, and please join me in welcoming to the lectern Miranda Good.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking everyone for the opportunity to share my story. I am honored to be chosen when I know that everyone in this class has an inspiring story. Graduating college has always been something I wanted to accomplish in life. In 2002, I graduated high school and enrolled in a local community college to become a registered nurse. I had a definite plan, but did not count on life making a plan of its own. A little over 2 years into college, I fell in love with the man of my dreams. We got married and had our first blessing, our son Naren. My life suddenly took a path different from the one I had imagined. I no longer wanted to be a nurse or a student. I could not stand the idea of leaving my son while I spent hours every day in a classroom, lab, or clinical rotation. I told my husband I couldn't go back, and he supported my decision. In 2007, we welcomed our second blessing into this world, our daughter Ella. I continued to stay home and watch our children grow. In 2009, life again had a different plan for me. The economy crashed, and I had to find work. I found a position taking care of special needs adults in their homes. Those 8 adults taught me invaluable lessons about what matters most, all without saying a word. My job showed me they could have accomplished so much more had they been given the opportunity to learn as children. Time passed, and I returned to being a stay-at-home mom. I realized I had a life full of blessings. There was only one thing left I had to accomplish: my dream to graduate college. My sister-in-law told me about WGU. Thank you, Hannah. She told me everything was online, and I could even take the exams at home with a webcam. I talked to an advisor who told me about the special education program. Some of my prior college credits could transfer and not go to waste. Every night when my children went to bed, I became a student. I watched webinars, read textbooks, wrote papers, created presentations, and studied as hard as I could in the few hours I had. During the day, I took care of my family, cleaned, prepared meals, and used spare minutes to make flashcards or brainstorm for my next task. I learned how to make every single minute of my day count. I had my entire family as constant motivation. My children were always anxious to hear when I passed an exam, and I loved to hear their little voices say, "Good job, Mommy." I also had a support system unlike any traditional college. I had a personal mentor named Dorian Rivera. She called me every 2 weeks to check on me. She told me on our first phone call she was going to be like the troll under the bridge on my journey. I would always know she was there. I know that I would not have finished so quickly without her. When I enrolled in WGU, I transferred 19 credits from my previous college experience. I took advantage of the opportunity for acceleration and completed extra courses every term. I graduated in 2 years and 11 months. My brother once told me that our experiences in life are what make us who we are. He was absolutely right. Life definitely did not follow the path I had anticipated, but I am right where I want to be. Today I am a wife, a mother, and a highly qualified special education teacher. I now have the ability to teach students with special needs and help them overcome challenges while they are young so they can thrive as adults. Without my family, the millions of prayers my parents have prayed, and the accessibility of WGU, I would not be standing here today. Every speech ends with something memorable, so here is my advice to you. Take a moment to stop and look where you are in life. Consider all your experiences and what you have learned. Have faith that things are happening as they're supposed to. Sometimes life has a way of putting us on the path we were meant to be on all along. Thank you.
Good morning. All of us on this stage and the graduates in the audience in front of me here have all traveled different roads to get here. Many of the graduates here are lifelong Tennesseans. However, my journey began not just in another state, but in another country, in a town with a population that's smaller than the number of people in this room. Growing up in Mancoda, Saskatchewan, I had to develop the skill of independent learning. Growing up on a family farm, my father taught me that to do what needed to be done, regardless of whether somebody told you to do it or not. Going to a school and graduating in a class of 9 people taught me that independent learning was essential. I was enrolled almost constantly in at least 1 to 2 correspondence classes in courses like accounting and calculus. For those of you who are afraid of math, consider learning calculus and linear algebra by correspondence as a teenager. Looking back over the last 40 years since I was born, that skill of independent learning has helped me tremendously as the world has changed around us. Much of what was once known as the industrialized world has transitioned to service-based economies. The nature of work has changed with this transition. No longer are massive infusions of capital necessary for a successful business. Now, small organizations are built and thrive based upon only the ideas and the ingenuity of their founders. The age of the industrialist has yielded to the age of the entrepreneur. And history will declare that the entrepreneurial revolution has had consequences that are almost as momentous as those of the industrial revolution before it. What are some of the characteristics of an entrepreneur in business? First, of course, is self-reliance. Successful entrepreneurs generally wake before dawn and work far more hours than most of their employees. Successful entrepreneurs surround themselves with a support team and require the complete and total commitment from their families. Entrepreneurs pull together teams of experts and surround themselves with those that can support and encourage them. Entrepreneurs aren't worried about abstract theories. They're concerned with the bottom line success or failure of their businesses. How has academia responded to the entrepreneurial revolution? With notable exceptions, the answer is they have not. WGU students are on the leading wave of an entrepreneurial revolution in academia. Let me illustrate with my example. First, an entrepreneurial student needs a strong sense of self-reliance. The student needs to set their own schedules, not arrange their schedule around fixed class times. There's no way I could have balanced work, family, and this being the volunteer state, active volunteer schedule, while showing up in room 203B every Tuesday and Thursday for a class. Not only did I not have a fixed class schedule, I was able to complete classes on my own timeline. In my first 6-month term, I was able to leverage 20 years of work experience to complete nearly 3 years worth of college in that first 6-month period. Trying to do the same at a traditional university would have been entirely impossible. Entrepreneurial students need the complete and total support of their families for the endeavor. I cannot adequately express the gratitude to my wife, Patricia, and my daughter, Sarah, who sacrificed so much so that I could spend time studying. Entrepreneurial students need a support team and subject matter experts and general coaching. If there's one thing about which I'm certain, it's that without the support and encouragement of my student mentor, Donna Beckman, and the timely expertise of course mentors too numerous to name, I would not be standing on this stage here today. Entrepreneurial students need to focus on gaining skills that go directly to their bottom lines, contributing to the success or failure of their lives. I've gone to traditional schools. I've done part-time and even distance learning programs in the past, but the content never seemed all that relevant. At WGU, I was wholly focused on acquiring the skills that I needed to meet my goals. And it was that match of goals and learning that allowed me to succeed. We, the graduates of WGU Tennessee, are the exception in academia. WGU is one of the first entrepreneurial universities. We can now go out into the world of the entrepreneurial revolution, confident that we have the skills we need to succeed today, tomorrow, and for decades to come. Thank you.
Good morning, graduates, faculty, friends, and family. I am Tabitha Calvin, and I've just completed my degree in information technology. I want to give honor to God, my support system, and Western Governors University of Tennessee. In addition, I also want to congratulate all of you graduates. In 2005, I enrolled in WGU and completed my first class, Education Without Boundaries. After completion, I completely withdrew from WGU. I explained to my enrollment counselor that employers would not take my degree seriously, and WGU was not a credible school, and plus, I just didn't want to be the butt of all IT jokes. So I gave a lot of numerous excuses, but the root of the problem was that I was afraid of change. When you are afraid of change, you're saying that you just don't want to grow, because growth, it requires change. Also, you're admitting that you don't want to prosper, because prosperity, it also requires change. In April 2011, my sister Latrina, can you stand up for me? My sister, she received her master's degree from WGU. She was the main influence of me going there. She told me, she was like, Tabitha, oh my God, it was the best experience of my life, educational-wise. That next month, I enrolled into WGU. 6 months down the line, I received 4 major IT certifications: my A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and my Project Plus from the CompTIA family. Afterwards, I put my newly updated resume online, and I received an invitation to apply for a position with Dell. 1 year, 8 months later, I continued to work for Dell as a senior technical analyst. There are many options in life. Every boat goes into a different direction from every port. From the same port, I apologize. We have the power to choose the direction we want to go. When you feel like you're at the bottom of the mountain, remember, if you can see the mountain peak, you can reach it. So in the midst of reaching your goals, disappointments can come, discouragement may sneak in, but remember, nothing will stand in the way of the determined. Always strive to improve and be a better version of yourselves. I want to thank the man that was shipped from heaven specifically for me, nobody else, ladies, my husband, Antonio. He is such an amazing husband, family member. I mean, this guy's amazing. He is. He loves me unconditionally, just like God loves us, and I'm thankful for him. I also want to thank my first and second mentors, Leota Coates and Jerry Mooney. They wanted to see me win more than anybody else, even you graduates. And they were the prime key to my success. I would not be standing here if it wasn't for those two. I also want to thank my parents, Larry and Deborah Macklin. They pushed me to be here. They pushed me to say, Tabitha, you can do it. And I'm just thankful for the encouraging words that they gave me. Also, my family and my friends. And I want to close by reading a poem that I wrote for the WGU graduates. Late night studying, losing sleep, determined to hunt for our degree. The road was rough, but I'm proud to be a graduate from WGU, Tennessee. Barricades and trees block the roads. Earthquakes and storms at our homes. Will we give up? No, you see? Because I'm a graduate from WGU, Tennessee. Thanks to the support of our family and friends. We ran the race, and here we stand. After all hard work, we can shout and decree that we are graduates from WGU, Tennessee. Thank you.
That's a hard act to follow. I do not have a poem for you. My name is Shannon Tucker, and I'm graduating with my MBA in Healthcare Administration. And I'm honored to be here today to have the opportunity to share my story with you and to thank WGU for the positive impact that it has had on my life. But first, I would like to thank the family and friends of those graduating today. This is not our accomplishment alone. It was your support and encouragement that carried us to this point today. For me personally, it was my husband who was willing to give up our weekends. And it was my mother who would call me quite frequently and ask if I had turned in that next task. Thank you all for allowing us the time to invest in our development. T.S. Eliot said, "If you aren't in over your head, how do you know how tall you are?" In 2001, I earned my Master of Science degree in Communication Disorders. I had a very successful career at TriStar Skyline as a speech-language pathologist. I worked at the bedside for 13 years, helping stroke survivors regain the ability to communicate with their loved ones. I earned various promotions and ultimately became the rehab service line director. During my first meeting with my new boss, the COO, he told me his expectation was that I was now the CEO of my departments. I found myself trying to manage a business with 120 employees and an annual budget well over $50 million. Wow, was I in over my head? My positive impact on the program was severely limited by my lack of business acumen. Clinically, I knew what the program needed, but I always fell short when trying to make a business case to executive leaders. This challenge is not unique to me alone. Nationwide, clinicians who want to advance their career will find that their clinical training does not prepare them for the challenges of managing a business. 6 months into my new job, my HR director told me about WGU. The program fit into my life, and it fit into my budget. Also, I could start at any time, and I didn't have to wait for the next semester. So I enrolled in my MBA program that same day. The competency-based training from WGU prepared me to immediately incorporate my newfound skills into my job. It is no exaggeration to say that I saw my aptitudes growing on a weekly basis. As I narrowed my knowledge gap between my clinical strengths and my business judgment, I began making business cases for the clinical needs of the units. And I could start seeing the positive impact I could have on patient care. And as my skills continued to grow, I became a more impactful leader, and my accomplishments were also recognized by leadership throughout HCA. The investment in my MBA allowed me to realize my full potential, and my efforts have already been rewarded. 3 weeks ago, I was given the opportunity to be the new Assistant Vice President of Rehabilitation Services for all of HCA, the nation's leading healthcare provider. WGU didn't just give me a foot in the door, it blew the door off its hinges. I now have the opportunity to impact and put my own personal stamp on 165 hospitals nationwide. What an awesome opportunity and responsibility. So every day, I must be willing to challenge myself and evaluate my own shortcomings. If I don't challenge myself, I won't change. And if I don't continue to get in over my head, I'll never be able to grow. I challenge you all today to evaluate what extra would you need to give to move your life from ordinary to extraordinary, and never allow the lack of education to be the barrier to you realizing your full potential. Thank you, and congratulations to the 2014 inaugural WGU Tennessee class.
Thank you all. Your stories are such powerful reminders of why our dedicated faculty mentors and our staff love the work of WGU Tennessee and share such a strong commitment to your success. Thank you so much for inspiring us with your messages today and always. Let's give all of our speakers another round of applause. It is now my great honor to commence with the conferral of degrees. After our graduates cross the stage, they will be receiving a WGU Tennessee pin by one of our WGU Tennessee alums, Lee Cox. Lee earned his Bachelor of Science degree in IT Network Management from WGU and has been willing to distribute a pin to each of our graduates so they can join our family of WGU Tennessee alums. Thanks so much. And now, would the master's degree candidates please rise? Upon the favorable recommendation of our faculty and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the member governors of Western Governors University, I hereby confer upon you the master's degree you have earned, to include the Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Business Administration, Master of Education, or Master of Science, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Please be seated for the moment and come forward row by row at the direction of the marshals to receive your degree and be hooded individually. Our master's graduates receive a hood bearing the color of their discipline. Performing the hooding today will be WGU Associate Provost Mitsu Phillips.
Stephen Estep, Crossville, Tennessee, Master of Arts, Mathematics, Education. Melissa Hahn, Lenoir City, Tennessee, Master of Arts, Mathematics, Education. Lisa Smith, Memphis, Tennessee, Master of Education, Instructional Design. Jennifer Cross, Cleveland, Tennessee, Master of Education, Learning and Technology. Gretchen Franks, Newport, Tennessee, Master of Science, Curriculum and Instruction. Kimberly Jones Allensworth, Adams, Tennessee, Master of Science, Curriculum and Instruction. Shannon Beavers, Gallatin, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Management and Strategy. John Jones, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Management and Strategy. Lisa Sanchez Wiggs, Hermitage, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Management and Strategy. Scott Ballantyne, Cordova, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Healthcare Management. Shannon Tucker, Mount Juliet, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Healthcare Management. Lori Graves, Hermitage, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Healthcare Management. Jody Thurman, White House, Tennessee, Master of Business Administration, Healthcare Management. Patricia Graves, Goodlettsville, Tennessee, Master of Science, Nursing. Mary Leanne Oldham, Nashville, Tennessee, Master of Science, Nursing. Samson Seifu, Antioch, Tennessee, Master of Science, Information Security and Assurance. Eddie Sharp, Ardmore, Tennessee, Master of Science, Information Security and Assurance. John White, Cleveland, Tennessee, Master of Science, Information Security and Assurance.
And now we move to the baccalaureate degrees. Would the candidates for bachelor's degrees please rise? Upon the favorable recommendation of our faculty and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and member governors of Western Governors University, I hereby confer upon you the bachelor's degree that you have earned, to include the Bachelor of Arts or the Bachelor of Science, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. You may now move your tassel from the right to the left side of your mortarboard. Congratulations on this important milestone in your lives. Please be seated and now come forward row by row to receive your degree and be recognized individually.
Julia Shelton Smith, Columbia, Mississippi, Bachelor of Arts, Early Childhood Education. Melissa Sutherland, Loveland, Ohio, Bachelor of Arts, Early Childhood Education. John Gear Bangash, Maryville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Educational Studies. Curtis Cooley, Estill Springs, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Educational Studies. Valerie Leverton, Northport, Florida, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. Melissa Mathis, Newport, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. Sarah McCroskey, Maryville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. Stephanie Sherman, Dunlap, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. Christy Turner, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. Miranda Good, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Special Education. Jeff Gebhardt, Clinton, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology Management. Tabitha Calvin, Atoka, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology. Kira Updike, Wartburg, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies. LaTanya Nettles, Clarksville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Mathematics Education. Catherine Harmon, Fayetteville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts, Special Education. Sarah Buffton, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Accounting. Deborah Cefalo, Smyrna, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Business Management. Kathleen Korn, Franklin, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Business Management. Clara Posada, Nolensville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Business Management. Renee Wallace, Clarkville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Business Management. LaChrisney Weatherington, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Business Management. Nikki Eidson, Cottontown, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Human Resource Management. Robert Poorman, Franklin, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology Management. Crystal Burton, Knoxville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Marketing Management. Joy Williams, Dandridge, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Sales and Sales Management. Teresia Miner, Nashville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Nursing. Thomas Reyes, Nashville, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Nursing. Shelby Sandstrom, Franklin, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Nursing. John Fennell, McDonald, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology. Michael Jordan, Mount Juliet, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology. Philip Wally, Thompson Station, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, IT, Network Administration emphasis. Christopher Thatcher, Three-Way, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science, IT, Security emphasis.
Graduates, please accept our sincere congratulations on this important achievement in your lives. The WGU Tennessee faculty and staff are so very proud of you, and we welcome you into our community of alumni, now more than 30,000 strong across the country. For many of you, earning your degree is the fulfillment of a lifelong goal, and rightly so. The academic degree you have earned at WGU Tennessee will open doors for you and allow you to explore new opportunities. It's important to remember that commencement is not the end, it is a new beginning. I encourage all of you to explore your dreams, dare to discover, and follow your passions. Whatever you choose to do, do it as well as you possibly can, and great things will follow. Learning is a lifelong journey, and one that is now a habit of both your heart and your mind. I urge you to continue your journey, to reach out to others in pursuit of their dreams, to identify meaningful ways to contribute to your communities, and to help us find our way as a united country to a brighter pathway for our children and our children's children. Now, at this time, we'd like to take an opportunity for you to begin your graduation celebrations on social media. How many of you have your cell phone somewhere in your pocket? All right, if you haven't, take it out. I know you silenced it, and for that I appreciate you. But go ahead and take it out. Hold it up and take a selfie. We've got some hashtags, WGU TN14, and then before you leave here today, I hope you will post that on Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter or any medium that you like to use to celebrate yourself, to make sure your family and friends that could not be here today are able to see you and know what you're up to here in Nashville today. So please take advantage of that. All right, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the students and the parents. We're now concluding our ceremony with our formal recessional, so I'll please ask the audience to remain seated until the platform party and the graduates have filed out. Thank you so much, and again, to all of you, congratulations.